Hey Drake, how's it going? Just taking a look at your first pass on the final. Sorry I didn't get this back to you quicker. It's been about a week since you turned this in. So this is sort of what I would do next on this. My apologies if some of this you did already. I think this is pretty good, first pass. The character kind of runs up, fights the bear, and then pushes him off, and then the scene ends. So the stuff I would work on next is everything kind of freezes past 130. So I would probably just animate to 130 or finish the animation off. So it's I'd want to finish on a strong pose too. So if you're going to finish right here and not have a settle or a RAR at the end, you might be able to finish on like a cool like bear kind of screamy pose. You know, get some camera shake. You could finish there if you wanted. You could even hold that pose, but it's up to you. I always think of when I look at animations, the very first frame should be where you spend most of your time on, because it's the very first thing anyone sees. So let's start by picking a camera angle we like. So I notice there's no camera in this scene. So all you got to do is go create camera, and it made a camera for us. I'm going to scale it up so I can see it. I just hit F7 there, just if you didn't know, just because I like to check the silhouettes to see if the pose is reading without any lights. I also like to work where one window is the camera and the other window is my perspective that I'm working in. So I don't know exactly what angle you're trying to make your anim for. Could be this angle. Whichever angle you pick, you kind of want to sort of make your anim for that angle so it looks the best there. I think it looks better from this angle than the other side, but kind of can pick and choose. If you want to do camera cuts or camera moves or whatever, feel free to just like key the camera. You know, you can think through like, is that camera like a person holding the camera? Is he walking around following the action? You could like cut in if you wanted. You know, get like a nice kind of tight framing. Does it feel the view setting for just zooming? You know, the camera is kind of a third character, so you almost think of your animation as kind of a three-character scene, because you got like the bear and the two people, and you sort of need the two characters to animate well, but you don't really need to animate them depending on what's in the shot. Because if you choose a shot like this, you don't need to worry about feet down on the bottom. You just worry about like how their weapons connect. Specifically, I wanted to mention the camera because the video you turned in was just like this, and it's hard for me to tell. Like if I'm in silhouette, I can't even tell that's two characters, and it's hard for me to tell what's happening from this angle. But if you compare these two angles here, like the one on the right is like way more dynamic, way more interesting, shows off your poses better. I mean, if you want to stick to this straight on view, it's fine with me. It's up to you. But definitely place a camera and animate to that camera. So some other stuff. There's some sliding on the bear's feet. You'd want to kind of work out. The bear's feet slide right here. You can have them step out or have them be out already. I like how the arms come up on the bear. Obviously, there's some overlap issues in there on the pushing. I would work on that. And then the push back, there's more sliding on the bear's feet. And then the guy kind of slides. So I would say the first thing I would do on the characters animations is just do a pass, and kind of how the guy's kind of feet are flopping at the beginning here. I'd do a pass and make sure the feet are sort of thought through everywhere. Let's see what's going on your curves. Okay, yeah, you should be able to clean that up pretty well. On the bear, you're going to run into problems because this isn't a true IK control. You want to be moving this guy back here. Let's see what's happening. It looks like you moved the IK control at the beginning, and then it didn't really keep for some reason. Oh, it looks like you just have one keyframe to fix, or you can just zero this out and then pose this here, kind of deal. So I would fix that. Otherwise, you're going to run into a lot of problems because this one's the one you want to animate, not this one. You can animate this one, but I would only want to do it on like a final polish kind of level, just because of where the pivot is. You get much better weight if you use the lower pivot that's off the ground. And it lets you this sort of lets you help. You can move that forward and then pivot different spots of the toe. But anyway, and then I think there's a lot of opportunity here to get this feeling right. Because this guy's, he doesn't, I would have his shield kind of, it looks like what's happening, he runs in and the shield comes up and then in. So it kind of looks like the curve on the shield goes up and then over and then just dead stops. I would think of it more, the curve on the shield would like come up in front and then up, and then the bear would hit it and then he'd push back, so it'd look more like a thing. So let's see, so it would come in and it would go, instead of it kind of goes up and then over and then stops, it would go like around and forward and stuff. I don't know. You probably get what I mean. And then the bear is probably something similar. So the bear just kind of, this is, let's see, this will be shield, and then bear. The bear kind of just comes up and stops on the shield. The bear should go, rah, arr, and the shield should come up the right second, so it goes, rah, arr, and then as my hands hit, you can see the two forces, and you can kind of pick even if the two forces hit at the same time, all strong, you can see there's a little bit of a this going on and a this, and you can kind of feel on my hands just by looking at it that there's, in order to get the tension on the two things to push, you can add like these twists, and the harder I press, the kind of more realistic and believable the action is, but then you start getting like all these wiggles and wobbles. So I would get that in there, but I'd first play with that first impact and get the bear's hands to go, "Arr, arr," and then the guy would go, "Arr, arr," That's the meat and potatoes of your animation. So really, if you're going to spend time on one part, it's right here. And then so that you've got like a RAR. Don't be afraid to like really go for the RAR, you know. Really like get in there. Like bears go crazy when they scream. It's nuts. So like really get in there, you know. And then you can add, you know, you can animate some, you know. And then even on the RAR, you can do some subtle like, and then counteract. Anyway, have fun there. And then, you know, you can do some snarls right here, some snarls if you want it, or you could open the jaw here too. If the jaw's closed, he just feels like he's your buddy. So I'd keep the um, I keep the mouth open, but that's kind of you. Whatever you want to do. Other than that, it's a cool piece. Yeah, sorry to get this back to you quicker, but alright, let's talk to you later.